A massive 63% of businesses have identified traffic and generating leads as their biggest problem in business. And that's understandable because if you don't have a constant inflow of traffic and prospects that you're looking to close, then the source is drying up and it's not a good position to be in. One day, we're going to have the chance to ask the other 37% what the biggest challenge is, but let's focus on this really, really big problem. You need to have a constant inflow of traffic and prospects that you're qualifying and actively moving from one stage of the funnel to the other. And one thing we should understand is that it actually depends on the kind of business that you're in to identify the best source of traffic that you want. For most businesses, running ads are the best way, right? Paid search. If you're in the airline industry, or in the hotel industry, I mean, the best way for you to be able to generate traffic is through paid search, right? If you're also in the hospitality industry, one of the best ways for you is to be able to generate content. So it depends on the industry that you're in, and that's what's going to determine the best form of value that you're going to get. But one thing you need to keep in mind is not just every traffic is important. Not just every lead is going to be a qualified lead. You need to be able to filter them. That means getting your targeting right. That means getting the right people to see your advert and developing enough clarity to be able to push them to take the decisions that you expect them to take, right? So you need to keep that in mind while you're talking about generating traffic. So let's talk about the ways that you can generate traffic, because if you can't, like we said, it's not a good position to be in. There are long-term tactics that you can take advantage of, and most of that includes blogging, right? And there's a mistake that a lot of people make. They just go ahead, build their website, and then they start blogging. That's good. However, you're blogging into empty space. Nobody knows your website. You're not ranking in terms of SEO. So whatever blogging, whatever articles you're putting into your blog doesn't really matter at this time. It's a long-term tactic. Nobody knows about you. And what you want to do instead is to start blogging on your website, but that's not your major source. You're doing it as a long-term tactic. You want to share your article and the link to your blog on other platforms that already have the audience that you're looking to capture. So for instance, you go on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and the rest. And by the way, I don't think you should be active on every single social media platform out there. Just pick the channel that is best for your business and double down on that area. Then when you make enough profit, you can then create a presence on other alternate platforms, right? So that's what I would recommend you do. But then when you start blogging on your website, which is really crucial, then you go ahead to share the same articles or links to the articles on the platforms that already has the audience you're looking for. And in this case, we're talking social media. So that's a really key way, and blogging will help you build your audience. It will help you own your audience. It will help you control your audience. So it's really important that you do that. And social media also, they already have the audience that you're looking for. So you want to move people from platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the rest into your own platform and kickstart stage 2, or what I'll call level 2, email marketing, because now you own your audience, you control it, you control them. So in your email marketing, you have total control over everything your audience is doing, and that's really key, because here nobody quite dictates to you what you can say to them, right? You want to be civil, but nobody tells you, hey, you can't say this and you can't say this. That's because it's directly between you and the customer's inbox. Email marketing is really key. One day we're going to take out the time to talk about why email marketing is still the best form of audience building and progressing people from one stage of the funnel to another. One thing that I think is really vital is consistency. You need to be consistent. I mean, consistency beats intensity, right? So you need to be able to develop consistency. If you say, hey, we'll push out a newsletter or we'll update our social media channels every day, then yeah, do that every day. Keep in mind that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is consistency. So if you're posting every single day of the week, that's consistency. But also know that Monday, skip Tuesday, post Wednesday, skip Thursday, post Friday. That's also consistency. So you don't have to lock yourself in to doing it daily, right? And there's another thing about consistency. People say, oh, I post once a week. Now that's consistency, but the frequency there doesn't add up. So I don't recommend doing once a week or once a month like most people also do. I mean, they go, we're doing once a month. I think the frequency is too long and people's attention span is short. You reach out to them now, and if you give yourself a month before reaching out to them again, they might just forget you, and then they're wondering, who's this? How did I subscribe to this newsletter? Or how am I following these guys on social media? And then you're just going to hit the unfollow button. That's because we have overload of information in this day and age. So a lot of people might just forget your brand. So I don't think a monthly update is good enough. Moving forward, I know these are tactics that are long term, and you are asking, so how do we survive in the short term? How do we generate traffic in the short term? And there's really simple things that you can do. You can put out deals and discounts, and this is like a no-brainer. You don't want to do it often so people don't get used to waiting for you to put out a deal or a discount before they buy from you, right? So, but deals and discounts is a very fantastic way to pull in traffic short term, right? And you also want to use what is called a lead magnet. Now, this one is really important and it's very nice. For instance, you could give out something valuable away just in exchange for people's emails. So you could say, hey, sign up to my newsletter or drop in your email here. I'm going to send you this thing, which is really important or really vital or something of value to them. And now you have access to their emails, so you can carry on with your email marketing campaigns, right? But then you've given them something that is really important and valuable to them. The more valuable it is, the more they're more likely to open your email when it comes through. Another way to generate traffic really quickly on the short term is what is called the loss leader. Now, there's a company in the US, Costco, and they're the ones that they are like champions in this, right? So everything can go very expensive and stuff, but Costco doesn't increase their price on knives. And that's because Costco, they're using knives as loss leaders, right? So the way the strategy works is really simple. If you walk into Costco and you buy a knife cheaper than you will get it everywhere else, right? The probability that you're going to buy something else on the way as you're going out or as you're browsing around the shop is very high. So the knives is like the loss leader for Costco. It's the product that they lose money on every time they sell. So for instance, if it costs Costco $50 to purchase a knife directly from the manufacturers, they're going to sell it at $40, right? Everybody else in the market is selling it at maybe 52 to 55, just thin margins so they can make a bit of money. Costco sells it at 40. So they lose $10 on every knife that is sold. But that works for them because they lose $10, but the margin on other products are massive, right? So people have the probability of picking up other products and they make the money back. So while they lose on knives, they make money on other areas, and the money they make on other areas is enough to complement for what they've lost on knives, right? But then that's like a strategy to get people in on the short term, to walk in, to visit, to experience your service or your shop for the first time, right? So loss leaders, fantastic ways, and it works always. And then there's another thing I want to talk about, holding contests. And this one is really simple. You can do it on social media. It doesn't require any specific software or anything. You just put out a post and pick the winner from the comment section, give out the gifts or the reward. And that's really key because people get to know about you. There's a lot of shares, there's a lot of engagement, and you get a chance to show your personality and tell people who you are and how you do business. So that's really important. That's a simple way to go about it. And this one, another important one, to generate short-term traffic, referrals. There's a proper way to automate referrals, and I would recommend you do that instead, so everybody has a dashboard to track the referrals and the level of success that they've had. And then I mean, it's really simple to set up, not that complex, so you want to take advantage of this in your business as well. But I think that the biggest one that everybody ignores on how to get short-term traffic, and it also works for long-term traffic, is building a great product. You would imagine why a lot of companies spend their time developing subpar products that don't solve major problems, and then they hire marketing teams, and then you have an executive yelling at the marketing team every now and then asking, why aren't you making more sales? The problem is you have a product that doesn't work, or that doesn't work that great, right? And people keep forgetting that the easiest hack to build a successful business is to build a very good product that solves a major need, right? That has a large addressable market. And that's really key. If your product is not good, you're going to have a hard time selling. You're going to have a hard time generating leads. You're going to have a hard time getting traffic for your product. That's because it's not good. People are not talking about it. People are not sharing it. The experience is bad. Maybe the reviews you're getting, they're bad. And the word out on the street is that that product is bad. Don't go close to it. You can make sales. You can generate leads. You can get prospects. You can do anything because your product is bad. And that makes this the most important thing, both for short-term traffic and long-term traffic. You need to build a good product. Keep in mind that organic is the cheapest way you can go about this, right? So even though you could get paid traffic and run adverts everywhere, and then you get people coming in and all those things, the cost of customer acquisition over time has to decrease. So if it costs you $10 to get one customer now, it's not expected that in the next 6 months you should still be spending $10 to get one customer. Right, that cost should significantly drop to maybe around $3 to $4 to get one customer. That's because you've been doing a whole lot of things right, and then you've kicked in referrals and all those things, incentive for people to share in place. So your cost for customer acquisition, if you're a healthy business, should be going down over time. If it's going up or it's steady, then it means you have to revisit the tactics and whatever you're doing. That means it's not working. So you need to ensure, in fact, that's a major way to gauge the health of your business, that the cost of customer acquisition goes down. So if you start using paid search, then over the time, you want to migrate away from paid search and move into more organic ways and see how you can jack up the sales, even without spending so much money. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this helps you, and I hope that you're able to implement it in your business and generate good returns over the next couple of days. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Hala.
Thank you for joining us today. Stay ahead in business by following Hal's Daily Insights.